There's that little yellow thing. It says we're live. Hey everybody, welcome to the November 2016 edition of Python Monthly. That's what this is, right? Yeah, November 2016, the year that will not end. This is so long. Anyway, we're live. This is Python Monthly. If you're just joining us, we are a group of people interested in Python and Django and Flask and all other things Python related. We meet once a month here on YouTube to do lightning talks or presentations, come up with projects to work on together as a group or groups, and just kind of hang out for, I don't know, a half an hour, 2 hours, whatever it ends up being. So, yeah, I talked about projects. That's another thing we do. Every month we come up with a project or projects, which we will work through as a group. We do all of our collaboration on GitHub and on Slack. We have a Slack that you can join if you want to come and talk to us and hang out and do stuff and things. Isn't that right, Jay, who is my co-host, co-organizer, co-whatever?
Yeah, definitely. And I like the stuff and the things. It's been pretty fun. Just even in this last month, yeah. I've learned a lot.
Stuff and things is where it's at. So we have should we just start? Should we just do the things?
Absolutely.
Let's just do the things, the stuff and the things. So the first thing we have is to talk about what we're gonna do this week or month, not week. Oh God, not week, month. All right, so our rough agenda, super rough agenda, is we'll talk about our Pelican project, our first monthly project, the project we did in the month of October. I'm gonna do my best to make that go live on the internet. I've been given DNS a little bit of time to propagate. We'll see if that works. Just got to flick a couple of things on in GitHub, and we should have a site. We'll find out. And then I'm going to do a brief little talky demo-y thing about Git and GitHub and workflows and little tips and tricks that are good to know. I don't promise to answer all Git questions that you may ever have, but I'll give you the basics, at least for what you'll do if you're working with us on our projects. And
hey, yeah, just a thought. If you guys have some Git questions, be sure to put them in the YouTube chat. Or if you're on the panel and you have a Git question, put it in the chat or just speak up as well. But we're going to be monitoring the YouTube chat, and we definitely love to answer your questions to the best of our ability. So let other people know if some guy that you were working with has a Git question as well. Instead of calling him a bumblehead fool like I used to do, just point them this way, and we'll be happy to get those questions answered.
Tisk bumblehead. That's just sad. How did they ever recover from that, Jay?
I don't know. It was pretty offensive back in the day.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh. But yeah, so if you have a Git question while you're here, feel free to ask. We will answer as best we can, as Jay said. And if you come up with one later, ask it of us on Slack, and again, we will answer as best we can. Nothing says that we know all the answers because we don't. And then we're going to talk about our new project, our project for the month of November, which I think is a pretty cool one. And yeah, so Pelican project. So those of you who don't know, our Pelican project was to get the Python Monthly website built. So we're using a static site generator / static blog thing, blogging tool. That's called Pelican. Pelican's written all in Python. You write pages and blog posts in Markdown or restructured text or whatever kinds of things you want to write it in, so long as Python can parse it. And then Pelican will parse those, stick them into themes in the appropriate places so that your blog post shows up in the content part of your site, and creates flat pages. So just flat HTML pages, not like running a Flask site or a Rails site or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And then we're going to stick all that on GitHub. It's actually already on GitHub. We're not sticking it there. And it's there. It's been stuck. And And then GitHub has a feature called GitHub Pages, which it will display static websites for you. You've probably seen this for like JavaScript libraries or documentation for projects or whatever. So the project was pretty awesome. We got a theme that's really good. We've got a couple of blog posts. We've got some like contributor pages. Stuff is good. Over the course of the month, we had over 30 commits, which that's great. That's at least one a day-ish. I know a lot of those weren't spread out as one a day, but great work, everybody. We had about 15 pull requests, which is pretty awesome. A pull request is when you've got code that you want to be added into the project. So that would have been things like blog posts or theme selections or tweaking, the output of certain pages or whatever, which is pretty cool. And we had several people. We had at least 5. I think we may have had 1 or 2 more that created those pull requests and created those commits. So people that gave us their time and code. So thank you very much to everybody who contributed. And I think we made a pretty cool looking site. Pretty nice looking thing. I would show it to you, but I don't have it up right now because it's not live yet. Anything you want to add, Jay? Or anyone else?
I would just mostly add that I think that there was a lot of different types of pull requests that I got to see. Definitely, even like up till today, I've seen like the first pull request, which like comes from nothing into something, and then just small tweaks and even major lines of code being added. So I think, a lot of people, including myself, get very open source shy. They think that they're not capable of doing, open source contributing because they're not talented enough or they don't have enough knowledge. I mean, from what we saw, I think my favorite pull request was, hey, fix that typo. And I'm pretty bad at making typos, so I know that there are probably others out there that have typos in their code that could potentially prevent it from working as thought. So I just want to encourage people, like if you're thinking that you're not knowledgeable enough to do a pull request or to contribute to open source code, it can be any level of knowledge that's required there.
Yeah, I mean, so long as you can navigate GitHub a little bit and you can read and understand and write the tiniest bit of code, there's something that you can do to help on projects. I mean, that's off topic, but if you go search GitHub for like beginner friendly, first timer friendly, newbie friendly, these kinds of phrases, you'll find tons of projects that have issues marked as that it's something that's usually easy to do. Excuse me. And if not easy to do, something that they're more than willing to walk you through doing so that you can get like your first commits in, which is pretty awesome. Even large projects like Django and Rails and stuff like that, they'll have these kinds of issues that they'll mark. And lots of times they're typos. They're, oh, we referenced the wrong line number on this one. Somebody should fix that in the docs. So yeah, those are cool. All right, so now we have a very excited GIF, and we're gonna try going live. So let me see if I can stop the screen share. We good? We back to me? All right, and then I'm gonna start a new screen share. I'll just do my desktop there. Y'all don't spy on anything important. And we're going to see if we can get this to go live. So I've got everything up on the Python Monthly website repo. And I'm here in the settings, which most or maybe none of y'all except for Jay can see. So right now, if we look at the website's repo, there's this directory here called docs. And inside docs, we have all of our HTML stuff. And then we have this one file called CNAME. CNAME is special. CNAME says what domain name it's supposed to be when you're using GitHub Pages. That one has to be here as far as I know, because the docs on this are a little hit and miss. Anyway, down here at the bottom, we've got this GitHub Pages thing. We can set our source, and our source is going to be the master branch docs folder. What up, GitHub? Are you not going to let me do that one? Oh. Well, we can't do it in the master branch. All right, so we're not going live right now. I'm going to have to figure this out. I think it's because we're an org. I think it's because we're an organization that we have to do it weird that way.
What's this that has to happen?
So there's a thing on, oh, where was it? I think it was there. Is that it? Do we just need to hold on? Let's try this. I'm gonna screw up all of y'all's .github.io. I'm gonna screw up all of y'all's checkouts, but that's fine. We can talk about how to fix that in a minute, I guess. All right, so then settings, GitHub pages, master branch docs folder, save. What? There we go. All right, so now your site's having problems. Submodule Pelican clean blog was not properly initiated with a git modules file. Okay, so we will have to fix that. But at least we're getting a 404.
We have one comment from the chat. It looks like iDrop. I'm going to say iDrop. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. It says maybe create a quick production branch.
Make a production branch. Sorry, I'm trying to follow these instructions. I don't think we need a production branch. So, okay, one of y'all did the theme thing. I'm guessing that the Pelican Clean blog came from the Pelican themes.
Correct.
Okay. Does somebody who did that want to see if they can figure out how to get this .git modules file in there? Let's go back over here to the settings. Submodule Pelican Clean blog was not properly initiated with a .git modules file. Oh, where is that normally done? Git slash config, is it? Yeah, because I don't have any modules listed in. Isn't it fun doing this stuff live on just live? It's so great. Um, Pelican themes. Okay, so but we didn't do it like this, right? We didn't go to there. We did something else.
I am not entirely sure. I know we had a committee of people that kind of picked the theme, but I don't remember who pushed that pull request, actually.
So here's clean blog. So we could probably just take this, git clone dash.
I did one, and I think TJ did one. I'm not sure which one was used.
Okay. We have... I'm going to make sure I send iDrop an invitation to the Slack team, because he also says, I think the modules file is removed so that it would not have a sub Git repo. If you follow the commits, there were some issues with having repos within repos pertaining to the theme.
Yeah, I can understand that because we've got this recursive thing, which Git probably doesn't like. Which that's understandable. So do dot modules. There's got to be a way to create that. Git submodule add. Right. So they're adding that as project A. So we would add that, not recursive. Oh, come on, Firefox. That as no, clean blog. Now, already exists an index. Ah. Oh, we're gonna talk about Git stuff now. I'm gonna do a new branch where I'm trying to fix. Let's get modules. I'm going to delete. Yeah, of course you don't know what D is because that makes no sense. Okay, so I've deleted that directory and there's nothing in there. So now, okay. You don't really need the submodule, right? Because we have the theme inside of theme, so we don't really need the Pelican clean blog thing. Right? Or am I confused there? Anybody want to weigh in on that? Is this shrug here from you?
The shrug is from me. I'm definitely not entirely sure on that one.
Okay, well, let's just test. Because the easiest way to test... Mallory says we don't need the sub... Yeah, I don't see why we need the submodule at all, right? So... Because if I... Like, docs is still fine. If I cd in -m HTTP server and go over here to... And the theme looks right, we're good. Okay, so we're not going to even use that, and we're just gonna purge that. So I'm actually going to hop back over to master. Should I do this as a pull request? This seems like a silly thing to do as a pull request.
I think for the sake of time, let's assume that it was, well, even following our own rules, there are 3 of us here, so I'm approving what you've done because I've seen you do it. And I think someone else here would probably do the same. So
you've seen me do it? Okay. So the way it would work is I would do this, and I would go remove that submodule. Create pull request. And then Jay or somebody else would come along and give us a thumbs up, and then I would go, sweet, merge pull request, confirm merge, delete branch, because I don't keep branches around. Here. And pull request, there should just be 1. Settings. Site is published. Hey, look at that. It's happy. Wait, that's not what I want. And boom, y'all. There's Python Monthly live. Now, of course, we still have some stuff we want to do on Python Monthly on the website. We want to, like put the logo on and stuff like that. But this is a great start. So cool. Site's live. Those of you who have push access to the website, make sure you do the make HTML, commit the updated HTML pages before you push. And then that will build and you'll have your new blog posts or pages or whatever on there. Those of you who want to come on and play around with us, do blog posts, whatever, be sure and check out the code of conduct. That is very much an important bit of our thing. I've been talking a lot. Okay, back to here. We're live. Woo! Okay, so Git workflows. All right. And now, like I did that so that I could switch the slide. And then now I'm back. Hi, y'all. And then we're gonna go back over here to my terminal. Okay. To not use my my shortcuts. But let me do this real quick. All right, slightly bigger font. Okay, so let's talk about basic Git workflows. So we have a Git repo here. I know that because it says Git right there, but that's my prompt. Your prompt won't have that. But you can point if you're in a Git repo, and it will say that you're on a branch and whether or not that branch is up to date and whether or not there's something to commit. And that's how you'll know that you're in a Git repo. Most likely you'll have done git init or git checkout or git clone, rather, not checkout, in order to have your repo. All right, so I want to make a change to this site. I don't actually want to make this change. I'm not actually going to make a change. I'm going to pretend I'm going to make a change. So I have a thing that I want to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out. So the -B means make a new branch. Okay. There's two ways of doing this. So first of all, you could do git branch and then put in a new branch name.
Hey, Kenneth?
Yeah.
We've had a couple of requests to increase the font size. It's a little hard to read.
I just bumped it up. I can bump it up again, though. Hold on. How's that for a font size?
Let's go with it.
Okay. If I want to make a new thing, or I want to fix something, so I need to create a new branch. Now, there's two ways to do that. I can do and then put in a new branch name, like /typo. Well, I'll talk about why I named that fix here in a minute. Or, you know, fix / logo. And that'll create a new branch. But all it does is create that new branch. Okay, it just creates it, and then I go right back to being on my master branch, right back where I was. Usually that's not what you want, right? If I'm making a new branch, I probably want to be on my new branch. So, excuse me. So I can do git, and then the name of the branch that I want to check out. So again, I'll do like fix new. If that branch doesn't exist, Git will create it. If the branch does exist, Git will just check out that branch. Okay. And boom, now I'm on that new branch. And you can see here the switched to a new branch. All right. So this is where I do all my work, right? I make my changes. I do a commit. I've got my stuff done. But let's talk about that. I make my changes, right? Every change I make, pretty much, I should do a commit, right? Think about committing as saving, right? So I come into theme, and I come into static. Yeah, okay. And downloads, we've got a Python logo in here. I'm going to bring that in. And that's a change, right? I've made a change. I brought in this file. Add file name, commit. Okay. The -M lets me put in my message for the commit. This is great when you just have a short little message, right? If you have a longer message that you want to make on your commit, git commit. Can't do because my thing is clean. And you'll get your editor, whatever your terminal editor is set to. Most of the time, that's going to be Vim, which if you don't know about Vim, I'm sorry. And now you're stuck in it forever because it's hard to get out of when you're not used to it. But you can change that editor to use whatever. So, yeah, Jay?
Just wondering about that. I have a production server, and on my local machine, my commit, my default text editor is Vim, but on my production server, it is Atom. So maybe we could talk about that later on, or if you can quickly show the way to change that, that would be great.
Yeah, so you have a shell variable, shell attribute. I don't remember what these things are called. You have a shell thing called editor, and that points to the executable environment variable. Thank you, Mallory. You have a shell environment variable called editor that points to the executable you want to use anytime that you're editing a stream of text, or if you just say like food. I thought that worked. I think that works on Windows, maybe. I don't remember. Anyway, your editor will be used for that kind of stuff. So for me, it's Vim. Usually that's going to be located in like your shell config. Yeah, see, like right here, I have export editor equals Vim. So if it was going to be Atom, I would just do like Atom there. And then once I reran my shell config, anytime I had to edit something, it would use Atom instead of Vim. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that was easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's fairly straightforward. The weird thing is if you start using like graphical editors like Atom or Sublime Text or PyCharm or something like that, sometimes depending on your shell and how things are set up, it can be a little weird with like having to actually quit the GUI application before your shell like Git knows that it's done updating, like before it knows that you're done. That's not always the case, and isn't usually the case, but every once in a while that happens. It used to happen a lot. Maybe they fixed that. And then Steve just pointed out in the Hangouts chat that you can change it just for Git if you want. So you can do .edit, and that will now use Atom as the editor only for your Git commit messages or your merge messages or whatever. To me, it's a little weird having it as two different things, although I rarely have something open up editor that isn't Git, but it's possible. So I like just setting it one place and being done with it. But I use Vim for like everything, so it'd be weird for me not to have it as Vim everywhere. But yeah, if you just want to set it for GitHub or for Git, totally can do it this way. And if you use a graphical Git client, most of those have an editor built in. You don't have to fire up, Vim or whatever for them. Okay, so I have made my commit, and I need to now push that commit up to GitHub, right? Because I want to share my work with other people. Even though right now my work is horrible and not actually helping anybody, I want to share my work with other people. So I'm going to do like git push origin master, and then if I remember correctly, you do, or not master, sorry, origin -u, and then the name of the branch that you want to push it to, and the -u tells it to create the upstream branch and track it. So that means any changes that are made on upstream, made on the GitHub repo, can be pulled down to this branch. Let's see if that works. It does. Cool. And you see that we have this new branch right here. GitHub tells us that, okay, cool, we made a new branch. I say GitHub. Git would tell you this even if you weren't using GitHub. If you were pushing to a Git repo on your own server or somewhere else on your computer or whatever. And then this here is what tells me that it's tracking that remote branch. So let's go. I can't go. I have to change my screen sharing around. Anyway, if you were to go look on GitHub right now, you would see that there's a branch that's called fix/new logo. And that's because we just created that one. So, cool. In fact, let's just, hey, y'all. Back to here, back to here. All right, cool. So, yeah, let's look at GitHub. And now there's this new branch here called fix new logo. All right. So I said I would talk about why I named it fix. So the workflow that I like to use, I think Jay likes to use it as well, probably most of you use this, is if you're doing a, you do a branch for all your changes. Anything that you're going to change, you do it on a branch, right? You don't do anything on master, ever. Don't touch master. Typically, branches end up being one of two things, right? They're either that you're fixing something was broken and you're fixing it, or you're adding something new, you're adding a feature, right? So like our pythonmonthly.github.io repo probably won't get a whole lot of feature branches because we're not adding new features to it very often. Maybe somebody makes a plugin, maybe somebody adds like, oh, it shows GitHub streaks or something for each person. Those are features. Cool. Those would be great to add as a feature branch. But most of the time we're going to be fixing something. And I suppose new blog posts would be features as well. Most of the time you're going to be fixing something though, right? The theme doesn't look right on IE6, or the theme doesn't look right on, a mobile browser. And so that's all fine and good. So those would be labeled as fix / and the new blog post, the whatever, would be feature /. Or maybe we'll do like, blog / or something like that. We can come up with those names as a group. So why would you do that though? Why have the branches labeled like that? It just makes it easier to spot them. And it makes it to where we can kind of figure out which ones we need to pay more attention to quickly, right? Fixes probably need to be paid attention to faster than features do, because we want to make sure things are solid and stable and complete, right? Before we want to add new things. So, committing, pushing, pulling. If you're not familiar with pulling is just the opposite of pushing. Git pull origin fix. If, say, Jay or Mallory or somebody else had made a commit on that branch and pushed it to GitHub, I could do that and it would pull down those changes. As no changes have been made, it's already up to date. The last thing that you do on your branch before you're done with your branch, right? You got everything done, you're ready to go, is you make a pull request. So if we look at GitHub, GitHub has this button here that says compare and pull request. If it's been a little while since you pushed, that won't be there. And you can just hit new pull request. And so we'll talk about it here. Don't worry about the compare across forks. We're not forking things just yet. So the base is the branch that you want to merge things into. So we want to merge things into master. That's pretty much always going to be our base. Unless you've branched off of someone else's branch and you want to merge things back into their branch. And then compare is where your new thing is coming from. So we'll say it's coming from fixed new logo. All right, and so right now it's able to merge. And so that's cool. I can create this pull request. I put in a summary of it and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to walk through those steps. GitHub walks you through them. You'll see what they are. But I want to talk about a couple of things here that come up with pull requests and that lead to problems with pull requests. Now, one of them is your pull request not being up to date. So let's say that I checked out, I branched off, I made fixed new logo 3 weeks ago. And y'all have been working on the theme, you've been working on the website, you've been making branches, you're making all that stuff. I haven't paid any attention to any of that, right? I'm just horrible. I'm going to stop screen sharing for right now so you can look at me because I make funny faces while I talk. So I'm horrible. I'm not paying any attention to what y'all have been doing on GitHub. And I push mine up and I go make a pull request. Now, my pull request, the way it is right now with being a single file, isn't going to matter at all. That's fine. But let's say that I also added blog posts. Let's say that I also worked on a theme. Let's say that I also have done all sorts of other stuff. My pull request isn't going to be able to be merged cleanly because we're going to have conflicts. We're going to have files that you've changed and files that I've changed that are the same file. And Git's not the smartest program ever. Git has a hard time figuring out whether or not new lines line up. So, yeah. So Git's going to go, hey, I don't know how to use these two files. They've both been changed. I don't know what to do with them. So what do you need to do? So in that case, you need to, on your branch, or on your computer, you need to check out master. And you need to pull master. And then you need to check out your branch again. And then you merge master into your branch. Git merge master will pull master into your branch. And you're going to have probably some conflicts. You're going to have files you have to clean up and you have to deal with. But you're the one that made those changes, so those are your responsibility. Once you've done that, do your push up your branch again, your pull request will update automatically, and now everything should be able to be merged. So awesome, you've done a great job. Something I did not mention in there was rebasing. Did y'all notice I didn't mention rebasing? Rebasing is the thing a lot of people like to talk about with Git. Rebasing is a horrible idea, and you should very rarely do it. That's not a popular opinion in Git, but I don't care. So what rebasing does, rebasing lets you rewrite history. Rebasing is way too powerful to be included in something like Git. Basically with rebasing, I can take a whole bunch of commits, I can smash them down, I can say they never happened, I can move them around so they happen in different orders, I can do all sorts of crazy stuff with rebasing. If all you're doing is smashing down your commits into one commit before you do the before you do the push, that's not that big of a deal, right? That's okay. Assuming nobody else has merged in any of your stuff before that, and assuming that you didn't need to merge in master before you made your changes, and assuming that nobody else already has your changes on their computer and they're going to start messing with that stuff. That's a lot of assumptions. You probably can't make all those assumptions and be correct. So don't do rebasing. Occasionally, GitHub will offer to do like squashing for you or rebasing for you. That has mixed results. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. I typically prefer to just not worry about it. One of the nice things about not doing rebasing is that it means that you can do Git reverts really easily or Git cherry picks really easily if you need to bring reset small changes, or you need to bring small changes into another branch without bringing in everything that's changed. So not rebasing gives you more options for Git stuff than rebasing does. Jay has asked what happens if you try to push if you haven't pulled first. So assuming that there are changes on GitHub or on the remote repo, what happens if you try to do a push and you haven't pulled? Git will tell you that it can't do it. Git will say, hey, you've got changes on the server that you don't have locally. I can't push your changes. So in that case, you do a pull. Git will do what's called a merge. Sometimes it's a fast forward merge. Sometimes it's not. You generally want it to not be a fast forward merge. You can specifically do, what is it? Git pull -- no fast forward, I think. No FF. I don't know. The docs can tell you. And what we'll talk about that does in a second. And then you'll have your changes. You'll typically get a commit that's known as a merge commit, where you're just like, yep, we merged those things together. And then you'll be able to do your push after that. If you use, there's several different Git shell tools, like I think Git Flow is one, and Hub is one, and there's a couple others. They often have a thing that's like Git push and pull that will do, or pull and push, which will do all of that work for you minus actually doing the merge commit. Okay, any questions? I know I said to talk about fast forward, but any questions before that?
I had a question and then I blanked out on it. So I'm going to try to phrase it in my mind as I'm talking, which is always dangerous. So what happens when you make a terrible mistake in your code base and you accidentally push it live and everybody's panicking and everyone thinks that the building is on fire? How do you calm everyone down, solve your problem, and get things back to the way that they were? And we're going to assume here that you've pushed to master at this point.
Okay, so you wrote some code. You didn't run tests. You checked it directly into master, and you pushed it up to master, and it immediately deployed. And the site broke.
We'll
right?
go with that. Sure.
That's the scenario. So how do you get back from that? Right? Okay. So there's two ways of doing that. So you can do a git reset or a checkout of a specific commit on your server, right? So you could go on your server, you could do git checkout, put in the SHA for a if you do git if you do log inside of a repo, you'll see a bunch of commits come up on the repo, and they all have a line at the top that says commit, and then there's 3 30 something letters, 20 something. I don't know. There's a SHA. It's a SHA-1 hash. You'll see this SHA come up. So the SHA is the unique identifier for that commit. So you can take like the first 6 characters or so of that, and you can check that out, and your Git will move itself back or forward, depending on where you're at, to that commit. And that's the state of the files. Everything's at that commit. You can give that a branch name if you want. You can do all sorts of stuff there. So that's like your quick fix, right? I made 10 commits. Things were fine before my 10 commits. Let's check out before my 10 commits, right? But you've got to fix it. So the way that you fix it, see, okay, you've done that on your server. Your site's back up. You're making money. You're okay. Now, how do you fix that on your own machine? Well, ideally, at this point, you fix the code, you run tests, you know everything's good, you commit, and you push. But maybe you find that those 10 commits are hopelessly broken. You should have never made them. How do you deal with this, right? Do you want to go into black magic, or do you want to just stick with like normal Git stuff?
Let's go with the we have 10 minutes for question time, and we'll have to do some blog posts on these after.
Oh God. Okay. So you can do git revert and git revert. Okay, sorry. No, let's talk about git reset. You can do git reset, and you can give it a SHA to reset to, or you can tell it like head ~5, and it will move back 5 commits from head. Head is the current position, or the farthest along position. Sorry, head's always in front, right? The head's in front. And then you can start working from there. You can basically pretend those commits didn't happen. You can start working, make new commits. Things get a little weird there, but it's not terrible. Ideally, what you do at that point, though, is you reset to wherever you want to be. Check that out as a branch. You throw away master and rename that branch to master. Because master is just a branch. It's not important at all. It's just a name. You can also you could cherry pick those away, which is weird to do. Ideally, you don't do that. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you can do there. You can rebase to where those things don't exist. But again, you've deployed that. You've pushed that somewhere. You shouldn't do a rebase. If git push tells you that it can't push and recommends that you do -- force, don't listen to it. It gets a liar. And yeah. I had something else I was going to talk about on resetting that, and I can't think of what it was now. Most of the time, that's not a problem. Like, you shouldn't have those problems. You should have tests. You should have all this kind of stuff. All right. Should we talk about our next project?
I think it's time to talk about our next project.
Okay. And any Git questions, toss them into Slack or Twitter or whatever, and we'll talk about stuff there. All right, cool. So the next project, build a bot. So here's one of the cool things. There is this, can I make a new tab? NT? No? No? Okay. So for the month of November, there's a thing going on that's called NaNoWriMo, which is the National Novel Writing Month. And the idea is you write a 50,000 word novel in a month, in the month of November. Now, as we're already 3 days in, that means you're almost 6,000 words behind. So you probably don't want to start that. But there's 2 other things that go along with NaNoWriMo that are kind of cool. And I can't pronounce either of them. So one of them is NaNoGenmo, something like that, which is National Novel Generating Month, which is where you write code to write a 50,000 word novel for you. So the code writes the novel, not you, which is kind of cool, kind of neat. The other one is like NaNoBomo. No, not Nano. It's like whatever. The idea is that for the month of November, you make 1 or more bots. So Twitter bots, Slack bots, Discord bots, Facebook Messenger bots, Telegram bots, whatever kind of bots you want to make. But the idea is that you build a bot. So Our suggestion is building a Twitter bot. We have a link that we'll share in Slack to a really great tutorial by a friend of mine named Tarian, all about how to build your own Twitter bot. Twitter bots aren't that difficult to build on your own, though, if you don't want to follow that tutorial. I'll be around. Other people that have built Twitter bots will be around. I know Mallory's built some bots. We'll be in Slack. We can answer questions about building different kinds of bots. But yeah, so the idea is to come up with a bot, propose it in the channel, see if anybody else wants to build the bot with you. If they do, great. Y'all are a team. Go build that bot. If they don't, cool. You're a one-person team. You go build that bot yourself. Bot can run on whatever system you want. It can do whatever you want. We'll open up Python Monthly's Slack to bots that are proven to not be really annoying. And y'all can run bots on Slack if you want. That's fine. And at the end, we'll all share our bots and stuff. And if you have your bot on a public repo, we will be more than happy to list it on the website and talk about it. So that brings us to next month's meeting, which happens to be the very first day of December. So you got a little under 30 days to, you get what, 27 days from now to build your bots. We'll show off bots, those of you who have built them. We'll show them off, talk about what they do. We will talk about our December project, which I already have something in mind for that. And if you'd like to speak at that meeting, if you want to do a demo of something, you want to do a lightning talk, you want to show off your bot, lightning talks are a great idea for showing off bots. Let us know. We'd love to have a speaker come. I may have somebody for that, so we will talk about that more as we go. And that's pretty much it as far as what we're doing next month. But if you want to join a project, you want to work on a bot, you need to come and get on our Slack team. You can go to bit.ly/PM Slack invite, PM for Python Monthly. And you can also request an invite to the GitHub org. Just ask us in Slack and we will get you on there. And then whatever project you're working on, we can make GitHub teams for those, or y'all can just organize around the repo as you normally would do. So I think that's it for this part. So I'm going to turn off screen sharing. Boop. There we go. Okay. And I don't need the presentation up anymore. And I don't need that giant shell open anymore. Okay, cool.
All right, so I guess that's going to be it. As Ken said, we've given the instructions to join the community as well as check out some of the tweets that have been going out from my account. I don't want to divulge why we don't have a Python Monthly Twitter account yet, because that is one of my possible bots that I would like to make. But if you want to help me with that, I would love all of the help possible. And I promise it won't be an annoying Twitter bot, because they do get annoying. And I will also say that I've had a blast so far in the Python Monthly Slack team. I have learned a lot. I've learned not just about Python, but about Git and about plenty of other things, actually. I mean, it's been really great. We have a great team there, and everyone is friendly and helpful. So if you're looking to learn about Python, if you are a Python developer wanting to interact with other Python developers, not just trying to promote our own thing. Obviously, Kenneth and I volunteer to do this. Everyone that's in this volunteers to do this, so we're not making any money, but we would love to get to know you a little bit better. And what better way to do that is to join the Slack team. And lastly, just because we are on a new project doesn't mean that we can't add new things to the website. The website is going to be it's open source. It's licensed open source under the MIT license. You're more than welcome to copy it. Just please don't copy all of the content, because that would be rude. But feel free to copy some of the styles, some of the code that's in there. Or if you want to add a little bit of your own flair to it, then we've already given you the instructions on how to do that. Just be sure to jump into the community and chat with us about it. And we'll be more than happy to invite you and your code into the Python Monthly family. So do we have anything else?
I don't think so. But come up with ideas for bots. Bots are awesome. Bots are fun.
Definitely. I want to hear some bot ideas in the Slack team after this, but I guess that's going to be it for our broadcast. So I guess for Python Monthly, I'm Jay Miller, and that guy's Kenneth, and we have a bunch of other really cool people in there as well. So for all of them, take care.
Later, y'all.